Hey everybody, I'm excited about this one. I am definitely excited about this one. I feel like this is a question that is very interesting and is rarely asked. Matthew, Matthew, I'll give you, bro. I love you. Thank you, man. No, they are not. With the anime I'm watching, I kind of agree with you. Andrew, hey, the Doylem, hey, what's going on? God LMAO, what's going on? Wow, it didn't even start yet, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, this one, wow, so many people are here already. I am very excited about this one because I feel like of all the anime debates, this is one that's very rarely, if ever, brought up, honestly. How's your day going? Wow, the Doylan, thank you so much. Hidden, hey. Death Note is a good example. Exactly. And we're gonna actually like start on the topic in about 5-10 minutes. But yeah, Death Note's a great example. We're gonna get into a lot of examples. I've written down some of my favorites. I feel like in good anime, please notice me. I've been watching your content for. Please notice me. I've been watching your content for so long. Oh, Hidden 55. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you for being here too. I really appreciate you. My Hero or Black Clover? Uh, I if if a new episode was coming out for each of them, I think I would want to watch both, but I would faster go to My Hero. A new account, what kind of content is good? I'm so sorry, I don't know what you mean. Oh my god, Itachi made me question everything. Yeah, Itachi's good. Itachi's another good example. Hi, did you already watch Tower of God? Yes, I'm watching Tower of God right now. It's interesting. They left out certain things from the webtoon, but it's good. It's good so far, in my opinion. It's Is Fire Force underrated in your opinion? I feel as though Fire Force has certain issues in regards to fan service and a few other things that I can understand how it's not at the top of people's list, but it is fantastic to me. I really do enjoy it. Pirate King, guys, a great creator, man. I love that dude. Please go follow Pirate King. Uh, Thoughts about Vinland Saga? Vinland Saga. That's one that we're gonna talk about today. Pirate King, guys, great guy, man. Seriously, please watch him. Oh my god, the fan service made me so mad. Yeah, usually fan service is what ironically can bring down the quality of an anime. Askeladd is the best villain, hands down. Askeladd is amazing. Dilly, amazing. I feel like the kind of psychological attacks that he used on Thorfinn to control him and manipulate him, it's something that's rarely seen in any show, period. Like, not even just anime. He is fantastic. I wanted L to lose in Death Note. Yo, Death Note's another one. I feel like Death Note, oh man, Death Note's animes that where you completely understand where the villain's coming from. Because in the end, the villain wasn't particularly wrong. And I don't want to give spoilers or anything to it, but ultimately, the goal that he had and the way that he went about it was awful. It was terrible, but he was right. I really did understand, yeah. Have you been watching Tower of God? Yes, I have. I've been watched Darling in the Frank, and now I have a void in me that can't be filled. Oh man, Hujo. I hopefully we talk about some anime that maybe you haven't seen that you probably want to give a chance. The concept was right though. Yeah, definitely. Mexico's in Europe. Yeah, the concept was with Death Note. There's a lot of anime really well. I feel like you can tell how good an anime is by how understandable the villain is. anytime a villain is very one-dimensional, that's a that's not the best written show. Oh, Netslide, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have you seen Makuya? It's an amazing movie. No. Oh man. I'm going to remember that. I wanted to write it down. I cried at Miriam. Yeah, Miriam. Organic artist, hi. Meruem, Hunter x Hunter, was sort of born to fulfill his king role, so he's kind of understandable. Yeah, he's understandable. He is. And even the deal that he struck in Hunter x Hunter, where he was like, we're not going to kill you. We're just going to put you in a little pen. It was very understandable. Coming from where he's coming from, with his kind of background, he was very, very understandable. I didn't really consider Meruem a villain, but he was someone that needed to be stopped for the well-being of humanity. I want to talk about Garu in One Punch Man. Sure, we'll definitely bring up Garu in One Punch Man for sure. Have I watched Plunder? I watched the first episode. I haven't gotten into the rest of it. I think Plunder, it has a very interesting world. It's a very unique to me original world. I haven't seen an anime with a world like Plunderer. Jenna, thank you for following me. I really appreciate it. Is a new anime Gleipnir interesting to you? Hujo, that's a great question. I watched the first episode of Gleipnir. I think that I watched the first one, and there's a little bit of fan service in there that kind of made me detach, but the idea is very interesting. It's very interesting. I do think the animation's fantastic. The art is fantastic. The voice acting, dialogue, it's good. There's just certain levels of fan service in it that made me hesitate doing a review on it. Ryuk is the main character in in Death Note. Ryuk, everything's really centered around Ryuk, honestly. That is true. That's actually pretty fair. What's your full name? My name is Travis St. Louis. The villain from Inuashiki, I think, is another great underappreciated villain. J-Sal, that is a great point. Because even with what happened at the end, you could tell that this wasn't a bad person. He genuinely, the villain in Inuashiki, genuinely was just craving his humanity. And that was the way that he could feel something, anything. So it wasn't that he was really wrong. It was just the way that he was going about something that was very understandable was a detriment to everyone around him, the world, really. Your opinion on Akame got killed. Also, have you watched The Promised Neverland or Shaman King? Akame got killed to me, it was fine. I didn't care for how it ended, and I think that's why I haven't done a review on it yet. I just did not like how it ended at all. And I loved The Promised Neverland, and I loved Shaman King. And if you guys don't know Shaman King was an anime way back in the day, like the thousands, and it was pretty much centered around a spiritual tournament, and the characters that were in Shaman King, they would take the souls of ancestors, of swordsmen, and dead movie actors who were good at martial arts, and they would either put them in themselves or in a weapon, and they would fight each other. And it was when I was a kid, the opening for Shaman King was what I lived for. It was such a good opening, such a good anime to me. But looking back on it, the dub is harsh. The dub is hard to look back at. Do you know a good anime like Shield Hero? I'm going to have to think on that one. Shield Hero is a very unique anime with the kind of issues that the character faces. Isabella was an outstanding villain, and she does what she does in order to survive. Yeah, exactly. Have you seen Hachime no Ippo and thoughts? I love I'm going to do a review of Hajime no Ippo. I love Hajime no Ippo. If you guys don't know, that's a boxing anime, and it centers around Ippo, and he's trying to be a champion. Essentially, that's such a very, very general, very general description of it. But the action in it is so intense. The I described it once. One of the fight scenes that was my favorite. People break their hands in the ring in this anime. It is so intense, so well done. Meruem showered humanity's cruelty to inferior species, and he was born to make them inferior. Yet the Doylan, he was not a bad guy. Meruem, with what he was born into, was not a bad guy. Oh, so all right, so 10 minutes have passed, guys. We can actually get into it. Um, but yeah, there's so many anime where the villains are are right, or at the very least understandable. I feel like one of them is Dororo. Like Dororo is a perfect example of that. Uh, Daigo in Dororo, who is the villain, he is the lord of the Kaga province, and he makes a deal with demons in order to save his province, to save the people. But it's at the expense of one human being. And I don't want to ruin it, but essentially, this deal really affects one human being deeply. Sixth Fold! Guys, Sixth Fold, he is such an incredible creator, upstanding dude. Please go check out his content, follow him. He is great, really underrated. But yeah, when it comes to Dororo and Daigo, Daigo did what he did in order to save his province, to save many people, even though the reasoning behind why he wanted to save them was so that he could keep his power and he could have people to rule over. He was still saving lives. And I feel like as a villain, he wasn't wrong. He was terrible. And even through the anime, all the characters mention it. They're like, look, what you did in order to get your province to be healthy and thriving was horrible and wrong, but we're all okay with it because you saved many people. So I understand it from the villain in Dororo. Archer from Unlimited Blade Works. Ooh, CJ Braz, that's a good one. Was he justified? I understood where he was coming from. I did. I really did. With the Holy Grail War, the whole way that the Holy Grail War was even structured was so messed up. And guys, I don't want to spoil it, so I can't really go that deep into it. But I agree with you. Archer was right. Somali and the Forest Spirit is interesting because the villains are humans themselves. Yeah. Oh man, Somali and the Forest Spirit is so good. You have a good point there. Yeah, definitely. Wow, I got on randomly. I forgot you switched time. Unruly Ronin. I'm glad. I'm glad you're here, man. Shout out. Sure. David Finn. Did I think what Itachi did was right? Yeah, absolutely. Itachi was. Itachi was really. He was. He was put in such a bad position by the Leaf Village, and he really did what he did in order to save people. So I understand. I understand where Itachi was coming from. Do you think that Sasuke's actions are justified? I understand it from an emotional standpoint. Well, even beyond that, Sasuke, yeah. Naruto is a really good example. Sasuke, I think was completely justified. I feel like the Infinite Tsukiyomi was completely justified. I think I'm saying that right. All of that was about like peace, and it was about going about peace in a whole different way. And I get it. Do you think Sakura is useless? Van is cool. That's a good question. I feel like Sakura gets a lot of crap, but at the end of the day, Sakura's a healer. Sakura can heal. And healers are important. Sakura's also very strong as well. And when it comes to Naruto, we're comparing Sakura to literally two, she was on a team with two incarnations, two insanely powerful incarnations, one of them being a Jinchuriki, the other one being like the last member of the Uchiha clan. There's such a high bar that she's being compared to. It's unfair. It's really unfair. Sakura has no Kekai Genkai, no Jinchuriki, no special blood, and surpasses Sannin. Exactly. Like she did incredible things. She's very, very, very underrated. Do you think Saitama will have a real fight in season three? I don't think so. I feel like the entire point of One Punch Man is that he endlessly chases the idea and the feeling of having a good fight. Um, I feel like we will continually get a villain that is built up to a point where, oh, okay, like maybe this person could take him and you want to see them fight, and then One Punch Man takes him down pretty easily. I think that's just going to be a recurring theme. I don't think that he's going to actually ever be challenged, really. Sorry, I'm a little late. Forgot that this live was earlier this week. Oh, Grundy, no problem at all. I really wanted to have it earlier so that a lot of people have been telling me that it's way too late for them, and I really didn't want to. I know that certain people really wanted it to be earlier, so I felt like it wouldn't hurt for it to be earlier for everyone. Hey, but yeah, for I'm late, my bad. No, no, no worries, no worries at all. But yeah, when it Mob Psycho has a very good villain. I feel like Mob Psycho's villain is more one dimensional. I didn't feel like he I didn't feel like he had a really good point. Example of a villain being right in in anime is Parasite, where the parasite, the Maxim, the parasites themselves are the villains. And I feel like the anime did a good job of you seeing all the destruction they can do and then flipping it and showing you that these are creatures too. And they're just trying to survive, and they're not necessarily wrong. They're they're trying to exist, and they have the right to life like anything else. I felt like it was very interesting to see the perspective of the parasites and to see them as creatures on the same level, not necessarily just some monstrous thing. What do you think about the return of Bleach? I'm excited. I feel like I loved Bleach. I did love Bleach, but I didn't watch it as consistently as some of my friends who are huge Bleach fans. And they have been just emotional about it. And I feel like the Bleach community deserve they deserve they deserve for Bleach to come back because it was a great anime. It should have never really stopped, honestly. Pain was right. Pain was very right. Naruto had some of the best villains because it is rare. It's hard for me to think of a villain that was particularly wrong. Pain was right. Obito was right. I understood where Obito was coming from. Um, I feel like uh, it's really hard to really see which villain was wrong. Death Note makes you realize your perspective on the worth on a human life and if redemption is a lie. Perfectly stated. Absolutely. Death Note really made you ponder that. Really made you ponder what human life is actually worth. Um, I think it also made it made me at least think about power in general. I think it's overlooked, but this was a high school student that was given the power over death itself. And even though that this high school student wasn't initially corrupt, and his idea about what evil is and about how to vanquish evil, I feel like even that idea itself, it's not something that I think you and I haven't thought about. Like, hey, what if just the really, really, really bad people just went away? Wouldn't society be better? Wouldn't everyone benefit from that? And when you see his philosophy really pushed to its extremes, where you're seeing like, okay, cool, someone has the power to choose like the worst of humanity to kill from, let's see how that goes. And you see how slowly the power gets to him and how slowly it stops becoming about the idea and it just starts becoming about power. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see like that kind of philosophy really pushed to its utmost limits, and it makes you think about whether or not you're right about how you think about how to get rid of what's bad, um, and what we should do as human beings against things that are bad. You should make a Discord so we can have discussions and debates about anime. Oh yeah, guys, I have I need to give you guys the link to my Discord, my Gotai 13 Discord. Who was a real villain in Devilman Crybaby? Personally, I don't see a real villain. Oh, Grundy, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Um, that's interesting. I hated the ending so much. I clearly saw him as a villain. Like completely saw him as a villain. But maybe I think in that in Devilman Crybaby specifically, the real villain, it's about how you define what evil is. If you define evil as something that is hurting humanity at large or threatening humanity at large, then God's the villain because of the ending. Like, God's the villain. What are your thoughts on 5 centimeters per second? I haven't seen 5 centimeters per second. I am so sorry. You should make a merch. Oh wow, guys, if I had merch, would you guys want to get my merch? Notice how chimera ants only turned evil when they became part human. The doilum. That's a fantastic point. That's very. That's very very interesting. That's very interesting. Um, and the Chimera Ant arc in Hunter x Hunter is a um, wild arc, because I feel like, even though you're right, in the same way, there was one character. It was an octopus, I think. There were certain characters in there that whole arc was just madness. There were definitely certain characters in there that made me think about what the entirety of what evil can be. Ikaigo was the octopus character. Yeah, Ikaigo. I think Ikaigo was mixed with a human being too, and he was good. So if I'm remembering right, it's been a long time since I've seen Hunter x Hunter. I remember Ikaigo talking and helping out. I think he was fused with a human being, if I'm not mistaken. Why do people hate on Boruto? It's because of Naruto. You had such a high bar, and you are making something that is essentially supposed to be a follow-up to one of the greatest, most influential anime ever made. So you have something very large to live up to, and what was produced was something with a very slow start, with characters that were not three-dimensional, that with a storyline that was not actually that interesting or engaging. And Boruto came right after the Madara fight, the Naruto versus Sasuke fight, them both losing their arms. There was such a large bar for it to reach. So it was, unless it was perfect, it was doomed. Pain is the accumulation of humanity's lack of empathy and what the effects are and the byproducts. Yeah, beautifully stated. Yeah. But you're right. The Doilum, you're right. Pain was. I think Pain was a very complicated character, and it was a mix of a lot of things, but that was a big bulk of it. Whereas some Boruto manga is definitely on the same level of Naruto. I haven't read the manga, so I cannot give my piece on that. But yeah, there's a lot of anime that have villains that really I think were completely understandable and justified. Doctor Stone is another one. The Kingdom of Might, I completely understand that. The fact that uh, the fact that Senku wanted to bring back every person, that means that Senku wanted to bring back people who also were evil. He wanted to essentially bring back people who also were evil. And, you know, it was like, no, we can restart. We can have the youth, and the youth can lead the way. I completely understand that line of logic. In many ways, Senku is kind of a villain. Because really, Senku wants to bring back all of humanity's worst human beings that were alive at the time of petrification. Yeah, no, yeah, like I definitely think. Would you consider Koro Sensei a villain from Assassination Classroom? Uh, no, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't consider him a villain. Um, I feel like he had no control over that. I feel like he was actually trying to stop. He was trying to stop what was happening by even having the assassination classroom in the first place. I don't feel like he was really a villain. Who do you honestly think would win, Alucard, Helsing, or Giorno? Wow. I haven't seen Helsing Ultimate. I have not seen Helsing yet, so I cannot say. But Giorno is a tough. Giorno, that's rough. He's really really strong. Would you like to see a remake of Tokyo Ghoul season 3 or 4? I haven't seen Tokyo Ghoul past season 1, honestly. So I can't really say. The neighbors from World Trigger, that's a great one too. The neighbors from World Trigger, were they really villains? I mean, I feel like the neighbors the neighbors kind of resembled the Earth. They were like good neighbors and bad ones too. I didn't feel like it was like the where the neighbors came from. That was a whole world mixed with so many different creatures. It's hard to just paint all of them as just bad. Uh, Remuru is literally OP from the time I got. Yeah, Remuru is, of course. Remuru was a slime that was. And if you guys don't know, Remuru is from that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's an anime about a guy who died and he was brought back to life as a slime. And it's about his experience and what he is going through as a slime and trying to get acclimated to the life of being a slime. Homunculi from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, if it hasn't been mentioned. That's a good one. That's a good one. Were the villains in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood wrong? Um, you know, I even when it comes to Father, right, who was the dwarf in the flask initially, it's like, was he really wrong? It's that's a tough one. The homunculi were just a part of him, and were they really right? I don't know. I'd have to really think on that one. What do you guys think? Do you think if you have seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, do you think that the homunculi were wrong? Yes, they were. Really? Interesting. What do you think about Dororo? I love Dororo. And Dororo, I mentioned earlier, Dororo is a perfect example of villains anime who have villains who are right. Because Daigo, who's the Lord of the Kaga province, was right. I completely understand where he was coming from, and what he did was wrong, but the effect of what he did completely made sense. Were the Phantom Troop really evil? They were relatable. Ooh, the Phantom Troop from Hunter x Hunter. Were they really? I'd say yeah. I'd say yeah. Maybe I'm misremembering again because I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter in a very long time, but I feel like they were wrong. They were definitely wrong. Um, are the pirates the heroes in One Piece or is the Navy? Oh, that's good. I'm not the biggest watcher of One Piece. Honestly, I've only watched a handful of episodes when I was a kid, and I haven't seen it since. So I'm probably not the best person to discuss that one. I'm very sorry. The Phantom Troop did steal Kurapika's clan eyes. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They stole his eyes, killed so many people. I think even when Kurapika was facing, I'm forgetting that guy's name. He had a lot of hair. He bit off the face of that porcupine guy. I'm forgetting that character's name. But even when he had his standoff with Kurapika, he was he was not at all affected by the kind of carnage and destruction that he did to Kurapika's clan. He was when he saw him and he was like, "Oh, you're from that clan? Oh, okay. You want revenge? All right, let's go." It didn't matter, and I feel like that's what makes someone evil. Not only doing something wrong, but knowing that you did something wrong and not caring. What is the topic about? Oh, it's about if the villains in anime were wrong. Yuvankin, yes, Uvankin. Thank you. Who said that? Unruly Roland. Thank you so much. Would you would you consider Askeladd from Villain Saga wrong? I don't. I think Askeladd was not wrong. He was evil. He is evil. He is messed up, but I don't think he was wrong. Would you consider? Yeah, yeah. I don't think he was. I don't think he was wrong. He is a villain for sure. Askeladd is a villain, absolutely. Um, but I think he was from his perspective. I completely understand why he would do whatever all the things that he did, except really how he manipulated Thorfinn and everything else. But at the end of it all, Askeladd was really a pirate. He would go from village to village and ransack the place in order to survive, in order to gain food, because as a pirate, you're not really making money except from theft. So I can understand, hey, you want to survive and you're trying to survive in this way. But overall, when, he ran into the prince later on, I understood where he was, I understood where he was coming from. When Yakimaru screamed for the first time after you know what happened. Yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy scream. I'm sorry for the phone, guys. Was Madara was Madara wrong? That's a good question. Um, I think so. How old are you? I am 29. I am an old man. I know. Oh, what do you think about Endeavor from uh, My Hero Academia? Endeavor is definitely a villain. He is a clear-cut villain. Well, in no, no, no. Endeavor, Endeavor is. I'm so sorry, brain fart. Endeavor is the second hero, right? Uh, that's the guy with the fire mustache. He 29. Yeah, I'm old. I'm old. The Doylem, I'm an old guy. I'm an old guy. Obito is the biggest simp of Stain wrong or right. That's a good one. I think Stain was Stain wrong or right? Stain was right. And it's messed up to say that. The Stain was right. I he was right. I felt like the way he went about it was terrible and wrong. He should not have done all that he was doing. But ultimately, yeah, he was right. I hated the movement that was started by him too, but he was ultimately right. Endeavor's a man who wants to save the world and needs power and will do anything for it. Yeah, yeah, and that's the question: is what makes someone wrong? The way that they go about something, or the result of what they're doing? Where is really evil located? And when it comes to that question, that's a good debate. Because if you're doing anything to get power to save people, and the only way for you to get really power is some people have to suffer, you have to stomp on some people, are you really wrong? That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I know which one, I know that I don't feel good about it, but I don't know if it's really wrong specifically. Do you think Light was right? Light was right. Light was right. And it was proven in the anime that he was right. Because peace happened because of what he did. Ultimately, peace did happen. He was drunk on power. He was killing people that did not need to die only because they were threatening to find him and they were getting close or what have you. But um in terms of right or wrong specifically, he was right. What about Scar avenging his people from Fullmetal Brotherhood? Scar is one of the most underrated villains ever. I feel like Scar was completely, understandably right. And the kind of character development from Scar was incredible because it showed you that he was never a villain at all. That essentially his land was invaded and they were attacked. He lost his brother and then was given his brother's arms. And even though he killed the parents, he killed parents, he killed people, he wasn't wrong. And the goal always was about the welfare of his land and about justice being done and peace being there. And that's why he went from essentially trying to kill all state alchemists to helping the government, being a part of the government even, you know? I hated Zodiac War's ending. That's interesting. And for those of you who don't know, is Juni Taisen Zodiac War, and Juni Taisen Zodiac War is essentially a competition between 12 of the deadliest mercenaries, all of which are named after the zodiac animals. And a lot of people, Phantom Blade, guys, Phantom Blade is hilarious, a fantastic creator. Please go follow him. But yeah, when it comes to Juni Taisen Zodiac War, it's it's funny. A lot of people have an issue with how it ended, and I think I'm one of the rare people that don't, only because it made the most sense. That character who I won't mention. Oh, of course, Phantom Blade, you're awesome. I'm so glad that I watched Morally Gray's video to find you. Awesome creator. But yeah, I think a lot of people have an issue with how Juni Taisen Zodiac War ended, and it made perfect sense. That particular character went through so much trauma. I can understand doing that. If you really think about it, I can completely understand it. Do you stream every day, Hujo? No, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I only do Fridays. I only do Fridays. I think I'm going to start doing it more, but I need to find a time schedule so that I'm not uh, going live at a time that's really going to negatively affect people. The Doylem, wow, thank you. Garu Otaku, a cultured weeb himself, guys. Fantastic. He's bigger than me. You probably know him. That guy is fantastic. Great content. Oh, by the way, man, congrats on 100K. You're fantastic, bro. Thoughts on new Crunchyroll originals that are coming out? Yeah, amazing. Tower of God is great. God of High School, I cannot wait for God of High School. The webtoon for it is so good, and it looks like they really did it justice through the trailer. But yeah, there's so many villains that I think have, if you really look at the world through their point of view, it's completely understandable. God of High School, I'm so excited for that. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Are we talking about Lelouch today? You know what? Code Geass. Code Geass was the king of Britannia wrong. That's Vixie Vine, guys. Vixie Vine, great cosplayer. Yeah, I love her content. Really, like, please go give her a look, please. I'm here with a new account. Hey Shane, thank you for being here. Are the caretakers? Oh yeah. Oh, I'm good, Vixie Vine. I'm so glad to see you here. Are the caretakers from the Promised Neverland wrong? I actually had it written down. That's one of the few. That's one of the anime that I think it has a villain that is completely understandable. The caretakers in Promised Neverland are. I appreciate you, love your content. Oh, Fixie Vine, I love yours too. Thank you so much. Um, the caretakers in Promised Neverland, they're put in an impossible situation, and the situation they're really put in, it's either they become a victim or they are, in order for you to survive, you have to do that. Because if you, they were all raised in that kind of world. So when you're talking about, hey, are the caretakers really evil? That was their only route to surviving. And you have fans from Africa? Wow! Hi! Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for following me. That's crazy. But yeah, the caretakers, the that's crazy that I have fans. I'm sorry, I can't get over that. That's nuts. Uh, the caretakers in the Promised Neverland are nuts. It's nuts, that kind of world, and the impossible situation they've been given to just give birth and pretty much know that the children that they're giving birth to, they're going into this same world that gave them so much trauma and pain and heartache, and it's insane. Have you watched High School D&D? A long time ago. A long time ago. I barely remember it, if I'm being very honest, Brandon. I'm sorry. Shane, hey. Did that part of Promised Neverland hit hard? Oh my God, yes. And the part that they're talking about, guys, is there's a part where a child hums a tune that is the same tune that a caretaker has been humming to, like, their pregnant belly and to their child, and you realize that the caretaker's child is there. The caretaker's child is there, and it was such a gripping moment to really absorb how deeply messed up the world of the Promised Neverland is. You notice how people say Light was evil, but his actions were good? That's Death Note's question. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He really, it's that question. What makes someone evil? Is it what you do or the result that comes from it? Because it has to be one or the other. It can't be both. Oh yes, that Promised Neverland scene made me cry my eyes out. Yeah, it was so powerful. I cannot wait until season 2. I really, even, what was another part of Promised Neverland that hit hard? When they were talking to one of the caretakers, and seeing even how young the caretakers were also hit a note with me. But there was a scene where one of the caretakers were talking with the kids, and they were, they were just exchanging information. And when she was just explaining certain things about how certain things worked and confirming certain ideas, to the kids. It was such a gripping moment. Have you watched Beastars? Yes, I did a review on Beastars. Beastars, um, if anything, they have villains that are 100% in the wrong. 100%. Yeah, 100% in the wrong. I shouldn't even have to think twice about it. And it's an intense anime. That is not for everyone. The Caretaker was 26. Yeah, Unruly Roland, 26. I'm 29. That Caretaker is younger than me. And it's like you went through all of this, all of that. So much trauma, so much pain. Opinion on Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online is given a lot of crap. I think it's because of two specific seasons, the Elfheim arc and the Gun Gale Online arc. And it was warranted. But Alicization, the War of the Underworld as well, those seasons are phenomenal. I think it's really the first season and those two seasons are some of the best written seasons in anime, period. And I feel like people should slowly start to give Sword Art Online a chance again. I am learning Japanese so I don't have to listen to anime in sub or dub. Charlie Cunning, it's so. I tried that and I'm still kind of trying it, but it is so difficult. It's so difficult to learn Japanese. I suck so much at learning that language. Are Pokemon trainers evil? That's a great question. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pokemon trainers are really evil. They're the equivalent of animal abusers in our world. Anytime we see a zookeeper have bears and lions and tigers in captivity, that's literally a Pokemon trainer. A Pokemon trainer is a zookeeper of the Pokemon world, and they carry small cells in their pockets, on their belts or whatever, and they release them only to fight other to fight other animals so that they can also put them in small cells. It's crazy. It's Pokemon trainers are 1 billion% evil. And I think one of the most evil elements of it was kind of the untold story of Ash. I felt like I wish there was an episode where we saw the parents of Ash give give permission to Ash to become a Pokemon trainer. Because this is a 10-year-old who's now an animal abuser, who's an animal abusing cells on his person, and he's going out trying to capture animals to train them to fight other animals. It's like, what was that conversation between his parents and him that led to him even being allowed to do that? I feel like that's so evil that it's just that okay in that world. I love Dororo. Yeah, Dororo was fantastic. Dororo was fantastic. Was pain ideology wrong? I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I feel like the majority of Naruto's villains weren't wrong, honestly. Opinion on Classroom of the Elite. It's amazing. It's a great philosophical, psychological anime that I did a review on, and I really do like it. Pokemon is all fun and games. To realize it's literally just animal abuse, the anime. Yeah, exactly. It's really messed up. Pokemon is really messed up. Is is Ryu from Devilman Crybaby evil? In my opinion, yeah. In my opinion, definitely. Oh, do you have any mind-boggling anime I can watch in dubbed? If you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho, is Yu Yu Hakusho, well, yeah. If you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho, there's a villain in there that's definitely mind-boggling for sure. So I'd say that. Um, to be honest, I haven't watched that many anime in dubbed. I've watched all of the anime that I've watched on my channel is in subbed. So I think I'm not the right person to chime in on that. I'm very sorry. I seen you. Yeah. I'm gonna have to think on it. There's few anime that I've really seen in dubbed, honestly. I think I've seen Death Note in dubbed, and it was fine to my recollection, but I rewatched it in sub, so that's how I really remember it. I hate animes like No Game No Life where it just stops mid story. Same. Hujo, same. How do you think Naruto would be if he didn't have the nine tails? I think Naruto would be he would still be powerful because he is a reincarnation of the name is the name of this character is eluding me right now. I think it's Asura. The name, I know I'm getting the name wrong. I apologize, but I because he's a reincarnation, I think he would have always been strong. I think he would have always been strong. Do they abuse animals in Digimon? That's an interesting question, and also because of his bloodline. Yeah, exactly. Vixivine, yeah. Um, do you prefer long anime or short anime? Okay, but anime. I definitely prefer short. And the reason for that is when an anime is short, you get a complete story. You don't have to worry about hiatuses. You don't have to worry about some issue going on with the editor or the producer or funding not being found or advertising issues or anything else that really get in the way of good anime continuing. You just get one full story. Usually some of the best stories are from short anime. And I like it because of that reason. Any tips on how any tips on how to watch in sub? I definitely think it's it's not something I could give a tip for. I it's not something I could give a tip for. I think that it's really whether you either like reading, it's not a distraction, or you don't like reading. You don't like reading while watching certain things. There's, I don't think there's really a way to really make someone who loves dub enjoy sub, and vice versa. Phantom Blade, I could say once you're used to it, you forget the subs are there after a while. Phantom Blade, I agree. I feel the same way. I really feel that way. I don't feel like the subs detract at all from it. I definitely could. I don't see them as a distraction. I think it enhances it. I don't know. And I feel like it also allows for you to not focus that much on if the character said a certain word properly or not. You're just enjoying the feeling, the raw emotion of it, and the text that's given. The Phantom Troop were created due to society and Meteor City's failure. That's interesting. Musan was is Demon Slayer only good because of the animation? That's a good question. I that's controversial. I feel like the animation is one of his best, uh, one of his best points. Definitely, the animation is very unique and very, very rich. So it's definitely one of the best elements of it. The plot, you can argue, is not that deep or layered or complicated. So, I understand. I could definitely understand people saying that it's really good. It's going down as a classic because of the animation over the character development or over the plot. I can get that. But personally, to me, I think another great aspect of it is the character development. Dub is like listening to a voiceover of Tom Cruise. I'd rather listen to Tom Cruise than not. The Doylan, that was perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. See, I hate reading. I want to see brand new anime right away. See, I can understand that. I could definitely understand that. That's why I don't have any issues with dub watchers. And I get that people who also watch dub, they watch it because they want to do other things while watching anime, and you can't do that with subs. So, okay. I completely get where they're coming from. Am I married? No. No, I'm not. Sub just makes so much more sense. Yeah, sub makes sub it definitely makes you feel like it makes more sense. Do you have a problem with the Black Clover animation? I don't. I've heard that comment. Where I am with Black Clover, I haven't seen animation that's really been that hard, that hard to sit through, me personally. But people who are farther along have told me that the animation definitely gets spotty. League of Villains is Phantom Troop but worse. Absolutely. I feel like the League of Villains is way more one-dimensional. They're clearly villains. They're clearly bad. They don't, at least to me, where I am in My Hero Academia, they they aren't they don't have a backstory that's understanding as to why you became evil or justifies what they're doing really. Comedy animes are funnier in dub. I agree with that. I watched Psyche K in dub and it was hilarious. Sorry I'm late. Oh, Max Midoriya. No, no problem at all. This is all going to be on YouTube anyway. I think they could have delved a lot deeper in the ending of Erased, so I was a little disappointed. Oh, Grundy, that's interesting. A lot of people have been telling me that one of their issues has been with the. It's really been with the ending of Erased. I personally enjoyed the ending because it wasn't what I would have expected. And I felt like there was a profundity with how things did develop, especially with the antagonist, especially on that roof scene. I'm not trying to ruin anything, but there's a roof scene, and that was powerful to me. I thought it was very deep, but I do understand where people are coming from, where they wish that it did go a different way. Have you stolen the fountain of youth? You can't be 29. uh, the Doylem, thank you so much. No, I have not. Depending on what the reason is of doing what they do, being considered a villain in some cases. Oh, Racking Gamer! Oh my God, you're here. Hey, Racking Gamer, guys. Great content creator, man. I love his stuff. He is such a cool person. Please go follow him. Watch his stuff. Fantastic guy. Seriously. And then you're immortal. It's settled. Yeah, hey, Racking Gamer, bro. You're awesome, man. Seriously. Someone asked, is Meruem can't spell from HH bad? In my opinion, not really. He's understandable to me. And he's only bad in the sense that he is a threat to humanity. Literally. He would so vastly change the life of every human being in a negative way that he's a villain to human beings. But overall, he's not really a villain, honestly. But he did need to be stopped in order to preserve human beings' way of life. You're so nice. Oh, chili chicken wrap. Thank you. Thank you so much. The most toxic fandom. Every fandom has its issues and low points and high points too. Gracie's kind of lame. Hey, guys. A creator that cracks me up, it's Gracie is kind of lame, man. Oh my God, her ship, her ship videos are just A+ stuff. Please go follow. She's bigger than me, so you probably already following her. But if you do not know her, please go follow her. She is awesome, both like on TikTok and off TikTok. I have not watched After Kai, but is Goku bad? In my opinion, Goku is definitely bad, and he was written purposefully to be bad. I think one of the biggest issues that the creator of Goku had with how he was being portrayed in the West was that Goku was a hero, and that was not how he was supposed to be written. Dragon Ball Super is way more the vision of what Goku was intended to be. Because Goku was always intended to be just someone that loves fighting, someone who's selfish. And in Super, that's what he was. Essentially, he was never supposed to be like a beacon of light for the weak. He was just supposed to be someone who loved fighting over everything else. Facts, no lies on Goku. Even Vilma said, yeah, like Goku is not a hero. Bulma said, yeah, Goku's not a hero. Like, he's a terrible father. It's all about fighting for him. And he just does it with a smile. It's not, he's not our definition of what a good person would be. Arguably, Vegeta is a good person. Vegeta is like the hero of the story. There's a scene in the Majin Buu arc where Vegeta is told by Piccolo he just knocked out Goten, which is Goku's son, and Vegeta asks Piccolo, "Hey, would I see that idiot Goku in the other world?" And Piccolo gives him a very detailed answer about how you're not going to be treated the same as Goku. You're not going to have your body when you go to the Neverworld. You're going to hell. That's it. You cause too much pain. And hearing that he would go upon hearing that if when he dies he will go to hell, he says that it doesn't matter, and he still decides to sacrifice himself fighting Majin Buu for his family and even for Goku. That level of selflessness, that's a hero. Goku's not that. Goku's not that guy. Have you watched Slam Dunk? What do you think? Oh, I have not watched Slam Dunk. I have not. I need to. I definitely need to. Do you think Escanor can beat Meliodas? That's a great question. Wow, that's a good question. That's a good question. I think. Oh wow, thank you, thank you so much for donating. I really appreciate it. If I had to really think about it, I feel like Meliodas full counter is just such a hard thing to really beat. Um, and I feel like Meliodas could beat it. Honestly, I could be wrong, but from my point of view, I do think Meliodas could beat Escanor. You kind of look like Logan Paul. uh, is that how you guys see me? I look like Logan Paul? Oh my god. Do you think Goku can beat Saitama? Oh man, Midoriya. If there is one video I regret doing, it's the Goku versus Saitama debate, in all honesty. Both of which I feel like they have very. Saitama doesn't really have villains in it that I think would be good in any way, honestly. But just to keep it on topic, but I feel like the whole Goku Saitama debate I should have never went into. I don't feel like either side is going to change their position, and it's a debate that will always go forward and always happen because both sides are closed off to the other side. And I did a whole video on it. I did a live on it where I broke down the speed of both Goku and Saitama. I broke down the power scaling and the difference in between Saitama's power and Goku's power, and how the power scaling in Super is so all over the place. It's literally impossible to tell the strength of Goku at certain states. I did a whole thing, and it just didn't change anyone's mind, really. So To answer that question, if you chicken wrap, thank you for sharing the live. If you do want an answer to my particular answer to the Saitama versus Goku question, I have it in my. If you go to my YouTube, if you go on my page and you click the Instagram logo, the YouTube icon will come up, the YouTube option. You click on that, the Saitama debate is there. But yeah, I just regret doing that debate so much. I still get hate. That's the only video that on the comment section I am called names, and it's so there's so much vitriol and negativity there, and I never wanted any of that. I wanted to just talk about anime. So I feel bad that I ever stuck my toe in it, honestly. Have you watched Radiant? No, I haven't. I need to. I need to for sure. I need to for sure. I've heard so many good things. It's childish and pathetic. The Doylem, it's rough. It really is. That whole debate, I feel like it brought out the worst in certain creators, and I shouldn't have even said that, but I'm not even gonna get into that. We're all here because we love anime, and one reason why I love you guys so much is because I'm not able to really talk about anime like this just with people in my life. I have friends that watch it, but could I have a hour long conversation about, hey, are anime villains wrong? Not really. So you guys have changed my life in this kind of way, and I love you all so much. I really appreciate you. Naruto and Sasuke versus the Ten Commandments. Oh, that's a good fight. I don't know. I do not know. Who would call I am anonymous writer. I am neither confirming nor denying anything at all. Hamon or Chakra. You're the main reason I started to watch so much anime. The Doylem, I'm so happy to hear that. Seriously, that's one of the main reasons I did this channel. It was an outlet to not only talk about anime and connect with people, the possibility of connecting people through anime, but people who have probably heard about anime, didn't want to try it for whatever reason, you could just see it as what it is through my videos, which is just a good story. If you just take away labels or how other people think, anime, it has amazing stories. And that's what it's about. Goku versus Psyche K without intent. Oh man, some people would definitely they would have certain issues and with that fight. And honestly, you have such an intriguing mind and perspective. I love coming to this. Oh, the Doylem, I really appreciate you. Seriously. Vi Online! Oh, guys, a fantastic cosplayer, a fantastic person. I love her, man. She is so great. Please go follow her if you want just great cosplay content. I cannot stress enough how great she is. When an incinerate tile, hello. Hello. Yes. It's been an interesting talk, and we talked about a lot of different characters, and I think some of the best anime ever really have villains that are understandable, at the very least understandable, and at the most just right. Like they're just right, but the way they're going about it would cause so much destruction and chaos to your fellow man that you need to be stopped even though you're right. And I feel like that's what makes a perfect conflict. Someone who's, your opinion on ReZero, it's hard to watch. It is an intense anime. A lot of death, a lot of very frustrating and also disturbing scenes. To the point where, and I've spoken about this before, but when ReZero was airing, Crunchyroll had a break where I think it was around episode 13 or 14 where they stopped the they stopped putting it out, and they actually started. That anime was. Oh, yep, who a villain whose capital M morals you agree with is so interesting. Yeah, yeah, it really is. Like we were talking about it earlier. Dororo. I Daigo, the Lord of the Kaga province in Dororo. He was right. He was awful, a terrible person. He caused so much pain to this one person, but he was right. He was right. Uh, I don't think Asa can beat Meliodas. That's a good question. That's a good question. I have to really think about it. Please, can you suggest anime like Fairy Tail or Naruto? Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic is really good. If you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho or Hunter x Hunter, I'd suggest those two. Um, yeah, I think that's a great place to start if you haven't seen those. What's this about? Yeah. Oh, Rihanna. Thank you for following me. This is about villains. If villains in anime, if we saw it from their perspective, are they wrong? And I think it's a great topic and question that really isn't asked. Why they gotta play around with my man Subaru like he's a ragdoll? Exactly, exactly. What was your reaction to Madara versus the Allied forces? My reaction to that was wow. I was like, whoa. I've never seen a scene like that in anything ever, where it's really one person versus everyone, and they're destroying everybody. And it's not like, and it's well animated and realistic. It just, I've never seen anything like it. It was such a crazy scene. Have you ever wanted a villain to win more than the hero protagonist? Sleepy, yeah, definitely. There's anime because of how right the villain is. There's definitely anime where I rooted for the villain. I think, oddly enough, I think Vinland Saga is one of them. Vinland Saga was written in a way where you know Askeladd is messed up. He is disturbingly evil. The Black Wizard King, yo, guys, you want some hot takes? You want some controversy? But from a great person, man, the Black Wizard King. He's great, man. He's really great. Uh, but yeah, I feel like Vinland Saga was written in a way where when you look at Askeladd, he could seem, he is, not even seem, he is an evil guy. Really twisted. But the more that you watch it, it's written so that you are forced to root for him in a way. Haitian creation, yo. Someone with fantastic cosplay, great explanation videos. Haitian creation, man. Please follow this dude. Underrated. Underrated. Love that guy. But yeah, like when it comes to Askeladd, I root for. I ended up rooting for Askeladd to succeed, to get the prince, to like for his ultimate plan to go to how he would like it to go, despite how evil and messed up he was. And I feel like that's really the hallmark of a great, well written show, where you could see someone so evil, and you're shown it for a long time just how evil he is, and then they make you root for him still, like despite all of that evil that you're still not over. You did Unruly Ronin, nice Megalobox. Did you like it? I I hope you liked it. I feel like that's an underrated boxing anime. I hope you were able to connect with it. Is Stain Hero Killer really wrong? He wasn't. In my opinion, he wasn't wrong. Hi, bro. Love your videos. You have honestly made quarantine a lot easier. Oh, Wedges Sabir. Thank you, man. Thank you. You know, I'm so happy you guys really connect with this stuff, connect with my videos. Can Stain beat Itachi? No. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I could definitely be wrong. It's just my opinion, you know, and I'm always afraid of talking about character versus character because especially without doing like really deep in-depth research about them because it's these characters mean so much to so many people and I don't want to I don't want to make anyone feel like they're particularly wrong or attacked because of my particular stance on how a fight could go. I haven't watched I haven't watched JoJo. I'm planning to check it out. You should. It's great. Deku would be Goku. Oh my god. What's your take on Fate Zero series? I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. It's everywhere. The whole plot of the Fate series is really everywhere. I've seen, I think, about three up to date, and the best one, in my opinion, is definitely Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. You don't need to watch anything before watching it, even though there's a prequel to it. You don't need to. And the action in it is fantastic, and I love the plot. Love it. If you watch it throughout, I love the plot. Yeah, it's great. I think it's actually a little underrated. But yeah, fantastic. It's fantastic stuff. I wish I could dress. It's so amazing. It really is. Yo, Black Wizard King, it's so good. Thoughts on Hisoka? Hisoka is apparently the hottest person to ever, like one of the hottest anime characters. Apparently, I've been seeing so many people drool over Hisoka. Hisoka, I can understand he's ripped, you know, and he's a great villain. He really is because he's another Haitian creation. You're 100% right. I think he's one of those rare villains as well who you see how evil he is. Like there's a scene where he talks about raping Gon. He makes a symbol, like with his hand, saying that he wants to rape him. And you still are you're still fine with him as a character moving on. That's the way it's written. You're like, you know, you see Hisoka work with Gon and and Killua and you it's so weird. You don't have like a seething hatred toward him despite how disturbing he is as a character. Your thoughts on Hunter x Hunter 1999? It needed to be rewritten. And I'm glad it was rewritten and rebooted for sure. I didn't think the 1999 version did it justice, but the new version definitely did. Where are you from? I am from New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. Mitsu Shogun! Guys, Mitsu Shogun. Such a great creator. If you want great anime content, that is your man. If you like my stuff, you will love his stuff. Like he is brilliant. His in-depth analysis on One Piece lore and the world, the devil fruits and the navy and all other aspects of it is fantastic. His skits are hilarious. Cannot recommend that man enough. I have such a deep respect for him. What's your thoughts on Darling in the Franxx? I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen Darling in the Franxx yet. I've been avoiding it a little bit, if I'm being very honest. You're so nice. Oh, an honest writer. Thank you so much. I'm gonna head out. I enjoy your life. Vixie Vine, thank you for staying as long as you did. I really appreciate you. And guys, it's actually time for me to go. It's been an hour and 18. I'll answer one more question. And then I'm going to likewise. Oh, yo, Mitsu Shogun, you're the greatest, man. Love your stuff. Vixie Vine, love you too. You're fantastic. Really. So I'm going to go, guys, too. But one more question, and then I'm going to be gone. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, the Doylan, thank you. I had fun, too. I could be on live with you guys forever. If I don't cut it, it's going to be... the only reason I even cut it to an hour is because it's easier to upload onto YouTube for anyone who has missed it. So I don't want to upload something that's like 5 hours. Thank you. What's an anime connect you would like to see? See you next week, brother. Such inspiration. Oh, wow. Black Wizard King. Coming from you, man. Seriously. That means so much. Like, I really do respect you as a fellow creator. And you're such a cool dude. Seriously. Thank you. What's an anime connect you would like to see? That's a good question. All right, so I'll answer 2 questions. I'll say that question and the next question. An anime connect I'd like to see would definitely be, oh guys, and Haitian Creation does something on his channel where he'll take 2 anime characters from whatever world, and he will find a way to show you how they are connected. It is a new series he's doing that I love. Like, it's so interesting. 2 anime that I'd like to see connected. All right, so I'm going to give you a challenge, Haitian. I think that 2 animes that have no correlation at all, that I would be stunned if you could find any correlation between, is if you could find a correlation between Jotaro Joestar, okay? Jotaro Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you somehow connect that to Chaika from Chaika and the Coffin Princess. If you do that, hey. And one more question, guys. Let's see. Moomin Rider would destroy Goku, no cap. You're funny. I haven't seen Darwin's Game yet. I'm going to watch Darwin's Game. Property of Tiani. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to. Have you watched Welcome to Demon School? No, I haven't. I have not. I'm really sorry. Bye, Max Maduria. One more question, guys. One more question. What's your skincare routine, though? You didn't answer. Okay, that's the last question. I have 0 skincare routine. I wash my face with soap and water, which is like, I have 0. I need a skincare routine, definitely. I have no skincare routine. My diet sucks. I am the worst person to look to for any skincare tips at all whatsoever. And on that note, guys, thank you for watching for this long. I love y'all. What did you think of this? Was this good? Bye, enjoy the stream. That's great. I love your live. See you next week. Oh, Organic Artist, thank you. I really appreciate it. Bye, love you. Hitler's, thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Yes, beautiful. Next week, awesome. I really enjoyed it, loved it. You guys are